we're ready. Look at the pattern that has. Here, I'll do another one here. Oh, you can't even see that. It's tiny. It's tiny. The atomization is tiny. It's a really nice product. It's very focused, which is another good reason for us to do this repair with this product. So, here we go. I'm going to sneak up on it. There's a coat. The overspray is gone. Yes, the overspray is gone. I've bagged. It's live. Anything can happen. This is my Captain Kirk Bluetooth device, and it's not because I'm expecting an important call from my attorneys or my bookie. It's so you guys can ask us questions, and that's another great feature of the live broadcast is that you guys can get in touch with Eastwood, ask me questions on the floor live. So anyway, my Captain Kirk fell out. Sorry about that. Anyway, I can't remember where I was at, but I was going to say basically that the overspray is minimal. I've bagged the car. It's just good insurance, guys. It's just good insurance. So while that dries, we are going to put another coat on there, but I wanted to show you this fender right here. Now you can probably see the clear difference between that is dull and hazy and that is really glossy. Essentially, we're going to end up with this type of a repair on the side of the hood of Jaded. Now, I hope you guys can see that because in my monitor it looks very, very distinct. You can see the definite separation line. So let me kind of demonstrate what happens on a repair like that. Here's the reason you can't blend clear. Blending means creating the illusion that a spotted in part of clear is part of the rest of the panel. Back in the lacquer days, nitrocellulose and acrylic lacquers were thermoplastic. There's two types of paints. There's thermoplastic and thermoset. Here's the way to remember which is which. Thermoset means it's locked, set like concrete, locked in. It gets locked in with a chemical reaction. Its thermoset means it has a catalyst and it's chemically changed forever once it cross-links, once that catalyst takes over and makes it something else. So it's locked in. It can never be reflowed, ever. So that's why you can't blend clears. Back in the lacquer days, you could do this, and this clear coat would actually eat into the panel here, and it would become the same layer. It would actually bond into itself and reflow itself. That's thermoplastic, plastic meaning in flux. So the fact that you can't blend clear anymore, well, you can get around it, and this is a temporary fix here. So what happens is, okay, here's your metal. Once you're blending your clear coats out, here's a coat that tapers off. When you come with your second coat, it tapers off even more. And maybe you do a third coat, and it tapers off even more. So what you have right here it's weak. And come back over to the hood here, Ken. What you end up with on that edge is this. As your clear tapers off, it's going to get weak. And sooner or later, down the road, you're going to have this happen. This is why a body shop will always paint to the next available panel break, because this is not a procedure that a body shop can offer a lifetime warranty on the paint. And every body shop that's legitimate, that will do insurance repairs and claims, has to offer a lifetime paint warranty. And the rules of the different paint companies, doesn't matter what they are, is that you have to create a situation. You can't create a potential failure. So what would happen here in a crash shop is that we would do our base coat repair, and we wouldn't spot it in here. That's kind of crazy. We would blend until the next panel break. And that's the best way to do it. But sometimes in a pinch, if you're trying to save money, if you know you're going to paint it next season, you got some rocker scabs or something like that. As a matter of fact, on Jaded, I did a repair like this. I can't show it to you because the car's bagged, but it was one of the fake side scoops. They're fiberglass scoops. I burned through. This is the day that the day before it was going to get loaded onto the truck for the SEMA show. I'm not having a panel that I burned through with a buffer. Idiot, idiot. It was my mistake. So we did a spot job. I backmasked it, and I did this very thing on the panel for Jaded. Now it's coming back through a little bit, and you can still polish it down, but eventually I'm going to have to repaint that scoop. I didn't have time at the time. That's the circumstance that you want to do this type of a, I'm going to call it a blended clear, but that's the circumstance that you're going to do that. But this is this weak edge right here. So in my blabbing, we're ready for our second coat. And we'll test it. Yeah, we'll touch test it. Another great thing about the 2K Aero-Spray is that it's dry to touch really, really quickly. So we'll hit it with another coat. All right, here we go. And there goes my Captain Kirk again. But you'll notice how I focused on the middle of that repair, and I took advantage of the outside edges here. I kind of faded it out. Now there may be a little bit of a bulb there, but it'll polish out. And the end result of that is that, you know, I don't know if you can see, there may be some discoloration in the right light, but it's not going to flake and it's not going to grow any further. So that is going to be an effective repair. So after about 24 hours of dry time, let's talk about how to fix that. What we're going to do is work on this fender here. Let's assume that the hood side of Jaded is this fender. And by the way, ask some questions. Call in at the end of this thing. Call in now. It doesn't matter. Talk to me. If you got questions about this stuff, let me know. I'll do my best to help. And if you're not watching, if you're watching this later, go to the Eastwood Online Restoration Forum. I check in there quite often, and there's a lot of other great moderators, and there's people with all levels of experience that can help you. If you got questions like this, questions about these procedures or anything else with your restoration, Eastwood's the answer, man. Pardon me. That's not because of the Clearcoat. The overspray is gone. It's because I'm working on some sinus stuff here. So what we're doing here, the way I prepped this is I scuffed, let's just say my repair was there. I scuffed the rest of this with 1000 grit to give it a nice tooth to work on, to bite into. You still have to have a mechanical adhesion. I've said this before, there's two types of adhesion. There's mechanical adhesion and there's chemical adhesion. Chemical adhesion happens between two wet coats. Mechanical adhesion happens when you sand a surface and the coating that you're putting on top of it has something to bite into. This is obviously mechanical adhesion because, like we said, we can't reflow this clear coat. It's impossible. It's changed forever chemically. It's cross-linked. It's thermoset. Remember that term. So we've got 1000 grit sanding marks underneath here. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed or not. You know, I'm not trying to hard sell this stuff, but look at the beautiful DOI. DOI is distinctness of image. Look at the gloss. That is a really nice clear coat, and you know, I mean, this is not a cheesy repair. There's no compromise there whatsoever. So what I'm going to do here is dress this repair and get it ready for buffing, because what we're going to do is buff the difference and blend it with the buffer. Basically, we're going to create the illusion that it's a continuous coat of clear. Another thing we want to do here is clean. So use my organic cleaner again, just to get the dust off of it, just to make sure that I know that I'm not grinding anything stupid into the paint. And it feels pretty good. Listen to the difference. That's overspray. That's sanding marks, whatever. So, what I'm using is 2000 grit sandpaper. This is black ice paper. You can also get this from Eastwood. 2000 grit is ultra fine. It's typically used for cutting and rubbing your final top coats. 2000 is very fine. It's very nice to buff with. If you don't have water on hand, like I don't have water on hand, you need a little bit of lubrication with the paper. So I'm going to use my organic cleaner. And I'm not going to do this down here. I'm going to focus on this up here because I think we can see this better. But I'm being very, very careful. And I'm just barely knocking some of the debris off of that edge. I don't want to go crazy because I don't want to lift up this edge. I don't want to compromise that because as we do, there's a potential of it becoming visible. And you know, we're trying to create an illusion here. We're David Copperfield in the moment right here, folks. So, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's hazed a little bit. So now we're ready to start buffing. Now back in the day with the lacquer paint jobs, I was born at a time to where I was working in collision shops when I saw the transition between lacquer, acrylic enamel, synthetic enamel, urethane enamel into full urethanes, now into waterborne. So I've seen a lot of changes in the automotive repair industry. And back in the day with the lacquers, you could get some good compound and you could hand rub that glossy. Not anymore. It's like trying to polish the sidewalk. This stuff is hard. Even though it's only been shot yesterday, it's a little softer, but it's still difficult to bring that up to gloss. So what I'm going to do now is throw a little bit of compound on there. This is liquid ice. I love this stuff. It's available, again, guess where? Below your screen. We're going to use just a little bit, about a dime size of compound. I've got a variable speed buffer. Here's a very important thing for you guys to notice. Watch this. See the way that turns around? It's clockwise. Here's why that's important. What I'm doing is polishing this way. I'm using the top edge of the buffer, of the buffing pad. Now in my instructional videos, the color sanding and buffing video, I'm going to tell you to lay this sucker almost flat. On a circumstance like this, you want to rub one direction so you can utilize the top edge of your buffing wheel to buff into the repair. Or actually, sorry, away from the repair. Because this side on the bottom is going that way, it would be buffing into the repair. So very, very important. Use your tools to help you facilitate this illusion. So now, just so camera guy Ken can see, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm going to dress up. He's laughing. You could probably see the camera shaking. Never mind, I am not even going there. I'm not even going there. All right. Look at our speed. We've got 600. That's a nice low speed. That's going to get you in trouble. We don't want that. As low as the buffer can go, you're going to get enough friction with the compound, which is actually liquid sandpaper, with a low speed, low RPM. And incidentally, this pad is step 2 of the liquid ice 3-step pad. There's wool, blue, and then a white foam. This is intermediate. Since this clear coat is somewhat fresh, the intermediate pad will work. So now I'm buffing away from the repair, and I'm just giving it a little love. Okay, now what's not there anymore? My compound. Okay, stop. When you see your compound is gone, get some more. If you dry buff, you get way too much friction, you get way too much heat, and you're going to get in trouble big time. So watch your pad, watch your compound. Once it's gone, reapply. See how I'm using just the top edge? And I'm feathering the trigger so it's really low. And I'm moving around. I know it's driving Ken nuts, but I don't want to stay on one spot too long. It's looking good. I'm looking at a different angle than you guys. And when you're inspecting, when you're buffing, always look at about a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you can see that, Ken. I'll lean back. You can see it's coming around pretty good, but there's still a little bit of haze there. So my compound's not all gone, but it's nearly gone. So what I'm going to do is hit it with another, I don't know, another dime size. Is that a Looks like there's a pigeon in here. Anyway,